Hello YouTube, I am here with Derek and I'm helping him answer a question that one of the viewers posted about the total experience. Just some key points to consider during your purchasing process when you're looking for a new vehicle. So as you know, Derek just purchased a new 2018 Toyota Camry. Woohoo! And he is ecstatic over it, very excited and very pleased. So he has written a script for me to follow. Here's question number one. Derek, what would you consider to be a step one in the buying process and why?
Step one in the buying process is to block all the noise. Here's what I mean by that. Each of us has friends, family members, colleagues that are going to swear by a particular product. It's the best. It's the fastest, whatever their preference is. People are going to say that there are particular products on the marketplace that are going to meet everybody's needs. And what you need to do as a consumer is you need to block that noise. You owe it to yourself as a consumer to go out in the marketplace and shop around and see exactly what the market has to offer. And I can tell you, I did that. All of the 2018 models that I looked at, again, I'm going to go down a list. I looked at Toyota. I looked at Mazda. I looked at Honda. I looked at Subaru, and some others I won't name right now. But for the 2018 model year, you are not going to find a bad product on the market in terms of interior or exterior looks, the technology, the convenience packages, etc. Every car manufacturer out there is competitive. And to be honest with you, I could have went either way. I chose to go with Toyota, but I could have went in any particular direction and I still would have been happy. But what makes my experience unique is the fact that I had a 2007 and I had 170,000 miles on it, and the car served me well for that period of time. And it wasn't just the vehicle, it was the experience of ownership, it was the experience of service and maintenance and having to go to the dealership for that service and maintenance and having a great experience in that regard. So block the noise. Go out there and just see what's available and what's going to meet your needs.
Okay, so to summarize question number one, basically, don't listen to everybody else. Know what you're looking for. Do your homework. If you had something good that treated you good, maybe you want to consider that as one of your first options. And don't be swayed too easily. Okay, number two, what research methods did you use and what worked best?
So I used a couple of things. I started out with an internet search, and the reason I did that is because each local dealership in your area is going to have an internet branch, and what that branch is going to do is going to allow you to see all the available options for a particular vehicle based on a VIN number, as well all the incentives, all right, that are assigned to that particular vehicle. So it gives you an opportunity to do a cross matrix. So you can grab every single vehicle you're looking at, go to that internet branch, pull it all together and consolidate it into one form, maybe an Excel spreadsheet. That's what I did. And I looked at all the available options that were going to meet my needs and some of my wants, and all the incentives, and I just did a comparison across the board. And I can tell you that every single one was extremely competitive. Again, it all goes back to, you owe it to yourself as a consumer to just take a look at the market. And I'm sure I would have been happy in any direction I would have went in, but I'm extremely happy that I purchased the 2018 Toyota Camry.
Okay, so two, summarize that again. do your homework, know where to look, and make sure the place that you're looking at is a reliable source. Um,
I apologize. I forgot to add something to that. So I mentioned the first piece of that, but I failed to mention the second piece of it. So I did an internet search for the options up front. So most people will wait to the back end, look at the vehicle they want, and then try to negotiate options on the back end. Again, this is just my way of doing it. I'm not saying that that's the wrong way or there's a right approach to anything. I'm just saying I did that up front because I wanted to negotiate less at the dealership as opposed to doing my homework and getting it on the front end. I think it makes for a smoother process. If you could walk in the door and you can get 90% of what you want just based off of a VIN number and off of the internet search. So when I got to the dealership, I had with me the VIN number, all the available options for that particular vehicle, and that's what I asked the dealership to see. And every vehicle was in stock, it was available, they had it cleaned up. I test drove it, and I can tell you, they all ride nice, they all look nice. The convenience packages, the technology that's available as standard options, okay? These are not add-ons. When I say standard, I'm talking about you look at an invoice for a car and you're going to get the convenience and the standard safety features across the board. So again, very competitive, but my experience using the internet as a tool was much better because it allowed me and the dealership to stay focused on what my needs were.
okay, all right. So you heard it. Essentially, to me, what it sounds like is do your car shopping just like you would your grocery shopping. Make your list, identify what you want so you won't go through the aisles picking up anything. Number 3, what should the potential buyer take advantage of?
Can't emphasize enough. You have to understand what incentives are carried by a dealership, by a particular brand. Every brand out there understands it's a buyer's market. And because it's a buyer's market, they want your business. And they're going to package your product in a way that's going to entice you to do business with them. And in saying that, your incentives are key. So you can have, for example, the internet branch of a dealership is going to give you an incentive right off the top of that sticker price. In most cases, it's almost $2,000 or even more off the sticker price. So that's just for, hey, you're inquiring and initiating this process via the internet. So we don't really necessarily have to have a salesperson in your face. And there's a cost to a salesperson being in your face. So you have to understand that. So we'll remove that process if you use the internet to help us determine what would be a good vehicle to meet your needs. So again, they're going to give you that savings off the top. The other things are, if you're doing a trade on your vehicle, check and see if there's dealerships that will give you more than what the book value of your car is. And in most cases, a lot of dealerships will give you in excess of $500 up to $1,000 in terms of being above book value. Take advantage of that. There are rebates available with new vehicles. There's the special financing. Toyota has this 0.9% zero financing, which, if you're like me, I happen to be a member of a state and federal credit union, and obviously a bank, right? I checked their rates on new vehicles, and in 90% of the cases and scenarios, with the options that I selected for my vehicle, they couldn't beat the dealership's financing at all. So, and the other thing I would say is again, don't always look past the sale. So look for the service after the sale. In this case, Toyota was saying to me, if you do purchase a vehicle with us, you can take advantage of Toyota Care. which is if you bring the vehicle back to us to have your oil, air filters, tires rotated, we'll do it for free for the first 2 years. If you do it at the same dealership, which, my dealership is Jerry's on Bel Air Road in Maryland, if you do it consistently at the dealership, we'll do that for 4 years. So, when I add up the amount it's going to cost me to get an oil change and tire rotation, and I'm saving that across 4 years, I'm thinking about total cost of ownership. And that means something to me as a consumer. So again, take advantage of all the incentives that a auto manufacturer is going to give a buyer, and I can't pull the information together into a consolidated format, an Excel spreadsheet. I'm partial to Excel spreadsheets. Take a look at it holistically, and then see where the value is, because again, you want that return on your investment. You want to make sure that you're getting the best bang, the best value for your buck. And again, in hopes that I keep this vehicle for the next 10 years, worry-free, headache-free. You heard me talk about in the first video. I put the key in, and it gets me from A to B. So that's what I would say. Take advantage of your incentives. Check it across the board. And in fact, there are other packages that a dealership would determine to be an option after the fact. They may be willing to throw in during that deal. So for example, you may get all-weather mats for your car. On your door trim, you may get the bumper protectors. You can get the protection for your door sills thrown in and made to be a standard option. So again, look, no harm, no foul in asking somebody at the dealership what incentives you have, and let them know that you're shopping across the board and you're doing your homework. And if they want to make a sale, they're going to put their best foot forward.
Okay, so essentially, again, do your homework, know what you're looking for, understand the advantages that are available to you. Don't be afraid to ask for more, and just realize that you are the consumer and they are there to sell you a product. You're there because you may or you may not truly need it, but kind of make them understand how valuable you are in the whole process. Number 4, do you feel like a valued customer? Did you feel like a valued customer throughout the process? If not, how did you handle it?
Let me start off by saying that, and I probably speak for a good majority of folks out there, you work hard for your money. You don't want to spend it unwisely, and you want to make good choices, right? You want to, again, this is a vehicle is a long-term investment. It's just like buying a home. If at any part during that process, from the time I initiate an inquiry to the time that I actually visit a dealership to the time I test drive a vehicle and we start talking about numbers, if I don't feel like I'm a valued customer, I'm just going to politely say, you know what, I appreciate your time, and I'm going to take my business somewhere else. Because much like a job interview, if I show up and I'm going to put my best foot forward and engage you and tell you, what I'm bringing to the table and why you should, why I should hire you, you should work for my company, I feel like it's the same process when you're purchasing a vehicle. I'm coming in, I want to make sure that the dealership has on a shirt and tie, and they're treating me with respect, and they value me, and it's not just during the sales process. So in all instances where I went into a dealership, I was greeted. Somebody was dedicated to sit down and talk with me. In fact, I have to share this. When I talk about Toyota, And again, I'm not just saying it because I have this vehicle. I want people to understand that there's something in the culture at Toyota, particularly Jerry's, Bel Air Road, Maryland. From the time you walk in the door, the level of attention that you get, and they're not selling you. What I'm talking about is when you walk in the door, people are asking you canned questions. Do you have an appointment? Are you here to see somebody? Can we get anything for you? Wow. Sure, I'm here to see this particular salesperson. Um, I did an inquiry over the internet looking at a particular vehicle. Here's the VIN number. Oh, you know what? Let me go grab somebody to pull it out for you. Now, I will say that Honda, I had the same experience. So, yeah, again, I'm not knocking any of them. There is, and I have to put this out there, one auto manufacturer that I had, to say horrible is an understatement. Um, but in 2004, I purchased a vehicle new from this manufacturer. The vehicle was listed at $33,000. It had 6 miles on it. When I drove the vehicle off the lot, I took it to North Carolina. Yeah, I forgot what was going on in North Carolina, but it was a family reunion or something. And the AC compressor went up in the vehicle. You heard me right. The AC compressor went up. The vehicle had 6 miles on it. I called the manufacturer. They told me to take it to a local dealership. The dealership fixed it, gave me a rental car in the meantime, and I thought to myself, wow, AC compressor. Okay. Needless to say, it was like 90 plus degrees outside, and it was hot and humid in North Carolina at the time. Get the vehicle back, we drive back, and the fog lamps go out. Haven't had a vehicle less than 30 days, right? I started to do a search on the internet. There was a laundry list of different issues, and that being included AC compressor, the front end, and then I saw the word transmission, and it scared the hell out of me. Wouldn't even consider doing business with this particular manufacturer. Wouldn't consider it. You couldn't pay me to actually drive these vehicles. I don't make the same mistake twice. So when I look at, I've had Hondas in the past, I've had Toyotas in the past, and each one of the vehicles I had got me close to 200,000 miles, easy. And then the resale value, I sold them for $2,500 or $3,000 each. But here's what I want to tell you. You look for a vehicle, okay, that's going to meet your transportation needs. You've got a family, or if you want something sporty or fast, or if you got long distance, you want a hybrid. But you want a vehicle where the brand that you're purchasing and getting into a relationship with is going to stand behind their product. And if they're not standing behind their product, they're not going to treat you as a valued customer. And I'm just telling you that from my experience. You may have had a different experience, but if a car dealership is not going to stand behind its product, then that's a red flag.
Okay, next question, number 5. Tell people about the negotiation process and what to expect.
Before you get to the dealership, the thing that you should understand is where you are in terms of, if you're going to lease or buy the vehicle, where you are in terms of your financial resources. Do you have good credit? Is it sketchy? Whatever it is, because depending on that aspect of your history, you can use that as leverage. Now, here's what I'll tell you. When you get to the dealership and you start talking, the price of the vehicle, the options, whatever it is, that conversation is going to reach a point where that salesperson is going to say, hey, we have to run your credit in order to see what you qualify for. Where do you want your monthly payments to be? What are you looking for in terms of spend, in terms of the price of the vehicle? All legit questions, right? I would caution you to tell that salesperson, and this is kind of like a very professional, user-friendly way to do this, is to say, I'm not committing until you can show me numbers that make sense to me. So I don't want you to run my credit. I'm telling you what it is. Run the numbers accordingly. You come back to the table. Let's take a look at it. And if it makes sense, then I'll start to commit and you can run my credit. And the reason why is because if I go to 4 or 5 different dealerships and each one runs my credit, every time they do an inquiry, my credit drops. You know, points here and there, but it all adds up and it matters, right? Because again, at the end of the day, you want to qualify for the best rate. And I go back and I say it again, these car manufacturers are offering, you know, some of them are offering 0% financing for 60 months. Some of them are offering 0.9% over, 6 years. The key is do your homework, understand what you're going to be bringing to the table. Again, if you got great credit, maybe you have a down payment, you got some trade-in value, whatever it is, all of this stuff, when you get to the table, don't negotiate options for the vehicle. Have that already, it's already worked out. Have the dealership run scenarios based on great credit, good credit, or, credit that kind of needs help, so to speak. But when you sit down at that table, you don't commit early. That's the key. I'm just looking, I'm interested in seeing some numbers, and then, call it a day.
Okay. So essentially, you need to be patient. When you know what you're looking for, educate yourself. Don't go in ignorant. Don't just go in knowing the make and the model of the car. Do a little more research, dig in a little further, and that way, when Charlotte comes, she can't swing you up in your web. So you got to look at the car salespeople like they're the spiders and they're trying to grab you in your web. I mean, it's just all sales. That's the name of the game. It's sales. They're trying to get you to buy something. Some are ethical, some may not be. So you got to be careful and do your homework. Know what you're doing when you go in there. Anything else you want them to consider?
I think the last thing for consideration, and again, this is before you get to the dealership, is you're looking at that new vehicle, right? Call your insurance company. Hey, I'm thinking about buying X vehicle. What does that mean in terms of rates? Does my rate go up? Is there any change in terms of coverage, in terms of the policy? So these things matter, because if you go out and again, you don't consider that until after you purchase the vehicle, and then all of a sudden it jumps out and bites you. What are you going to do? Return the vehicle? You don't want to get to that point in the road. The other thing I would say is again, take your time. Don't rush the process. It's an investment. Be smart about it. Go after the best deal. And I'll tell you this: if Toyota was not willing to work with me, I had options as a buyer to get a different vehicle. So I was okay with that. Although, again, I'm extremely happy with my purchase. It's something that I'm proud of. I'm loving the technology. I'm learning something new every day about this vehicle. And I hope to have it for the 10 years I have my 2007. So that's it for this video. I hope that was helpful. I thank my wife, Pawn, for summarizing my long-winded answers. But I wanted to make sure that I drove these points home and you get something to take away with you. Good luck in your experience. I hope it's a good one. I hope you get the car that you want. Please let me know if you did. And let me know if this video was helpful in the comment section. Please like and please subscribe. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And that's all. Be safe.
Goodbye.